So we've seen how the iron works, but you can make it into a mini hot plate like this. So let's look at how to do that and then what you can do with it, because this is great. First thing to realise is the iron is cold. Don't do this with the iron hot because you'll burn yourself. Now, to take the handle off, you just remove the switch and the handle pulls out, and then you lay that down on the table. So lay the handle on the table and then take the iron and slide it in here, sitting on top. So just slide it in there, hold the point down, push, and it should stay in position. That's fine, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So get some tape and then just tape along the edges, like this one I've done here. So you put some tape along here, some tape along the other side, and finally some tape right through underneath the metal here, right through that groove there, so that the iron is held securely onto the base. And once it's like that, it's ready to use. It's a little mini hot plate. The temperature, like before, should be set with low at the bottom. So it's the same temperature as before. You don't need to change the dial. Make sure you tape it well. Let's see what it does. Okay, so now I've got my little hot plate set up and it's hot. And I'm taking a piece of A6 card and just sitting it on top. Now, as you can see, the card is bigger than the plate of the iron. So we need to leave an area of it, probably this part here, which we're going to hold all the time, that won't get covered in wax. There are always round it, but let's just do it like this first. And to start with, all you do is you just crayon straight onto your piece of card. You can see the wax is now melting on there. Let's just do some squiggly designs, nothing spectacular. And of course, because the wax is still molten, whenever you apply a new colour, it pushes the other colour out of the way. As soon as you remove it from the heat, it cools down, and even something like this can become quite an interesting card. One of the common ways that I work with this is to put colour on. Let's just put some colour on in bands. It's just melting on because the heat of the iron underneath melts it up. Just stick with these three colours for now. Now, my favourite old tissue. I'm just going to make a tissue pad, a little piece of tissue like this, and then work into it. Now, if I start by doing some wiggly lines like this, maybe some spots. Can you see the patterns, how easy it is to do something using this technique? So just make up a variety of patterns, try different shapes, and very soon you'll have lovely cards. This image reminds me of some wise Chinese monks, and look, there's some ducks on the river. Use your imagination. As a development of that idea, let's put on some more colour. I'm just creating a background here really. I'm going to make it blue-green. Just move the card around on top of the hot plate iron until you like what you've got. See, something like this can be so interesting. But anyway, that's not what I'm doing. And now I'm going to just dab all over it with that piece of tissue. Same old bit of tissue. Can you see the interesting effects that that's created? Now, this could be a card in its own right, but I want to carry on and use a cotton bud tip to work into it. First of all, I'm just going to smooth a little area out in the middle, just using a clean bit of tissue, smoothing out a little bit of area. Dab around so it merges in, and then a cotton tip. These you can get just about anywhere, and you can use them just for drawing into the wax. And that's just using them without any wax on. If I take wax and put it onto the actual hot plate, I can use this very tip as a little palette, and then I can load up the colour and I can start dabbing it on. All sorts of fun here. Of course, using this cotton wool tip, you can just work straight onto your card. Let's get a bit of different colour. Okay, let's try another one. Yellow on the card. Some blue. And the reason I'm using my piece of tissue here, which is getting a bit dirty now really, to dab all over this is to remove excess colour. Quite nice like that again. Take the tip and just start making your design. I'm sticking with a spiral here. Put some lines through it. And then maybe fill in some areas. There's some dots in there, like I did before. And when you're happy with it, that's when it's time to stop. Let's look at another technique. This time, I'm again putting bands of colour onto the card, keeping a part to hold which doesn't get hot. And now I'm going to take some card with a serrated edge. And you create that serrated edge by tearing it. Tear the card on a sharp, straight edge. And then you get these serrations down the edge here, rather than a perfect cut one. And it's the serrations that create the patterns. So I've got a small serrated edge here, place it on the card, and then wriggle it side to side as you drag it backwards. And you get these lovely marks appearing. It's a bit like malachite, some of those rock formations. And it looks much more than a few seconds work. Let's do another one of those torn card ones because I like them. On with the card and start working. Just takes seconds. Like that.